what we have here is, maybe this middle line is the status quo. And what we see with a lot of business owners is, they've been around for 20, 30, 40 years, is, they take off like a rocket. They're focused, they're growing, they have strategic plans every year, and they got bank debt, they got bank covenants they got to stay within, and they pay that down over, the 5, 10 years, whatever it might be. And all of a sudden now they start to get in this lifestyle business of, hey, I'm making good money. Maybe I don't want to work as hard as I did, when I first started, my first 5 to 7, 10 years. And things are good. So they're just kind of coming along, growing, maybe not growing a ton, growing a little bit, but not going down. But what happens when all of a sudden they're burnt out? And all of a sudden, when they're starting to burnt out, you don't see it right away, but eventually you start to see those, they're not in the office as much, they're not driving as much. Oh, I could go talk to that client, but I'm tired today. Maybe somebody else will go, and they're not as good as me, and they don't land the client or whatever it might be. But all of a sudden they start to burn out, and you start to see this trail off of sales and profits. On the flip side, if you're working with them and they've got a plan and they understand where the finish line is, all of a sudden now they're starting to sprint. They take that last breath and they start to sprint to that finish line, and they can finish strong. And this reminds me of a story I had. I ran track. I did decathlon in college, and it's 10 events, 2 days. And on the last day, the last event is the 1,500 meter run, which basically is the mile. And we're all sprinters, so it seems like it seems like you're running forever. And I was running that race that day, and I came around what I thought was the last lap, my third lap, going, okay, 1 lap to go. And the starter, who's supposed to be giving you, 3 laps left, 2 laps, 1 lap left, he was changing out the blanks in his gun, so there was no coach there, no one stating anything. So I'm in the flow, and I go, okay, I think this is the last lap, and I start picking up the pace, and I start sprinting more, and I start going more, and I start passing people that I've never passed before, because we run against the same people in the conference. And all of a sudden I come around, what I think, I see that finish line, and I see it, and it's 100 meters away, and I start sprinting to it, thinking, as soon as I get there, I can stop, I'm good, I'm done, and I can take a rest, I can drink some water. And I get to that finish line, and I've passed more people than I've ever had before. I'm like, this is going to be my best time ever. And the guy goes, 1 more lap. And I'm in college. I should have been able to figure out what 4 laps are like. But when you just get in that zone and you kind of get in a rut, you just don't know what you don't know. And I had to go around that lap again. Now, I was in great shape. So physically, I could have kept going. But mentally, I was just crushed. So I was burnt out. I was done. I was supposed to be on the ground, relaxing, drinking water, catching my breath. And every person that I passed, they all passed me. And people that I've never lost to all passed me. And it was the worst race of my life. So what it goes back to is this finishing strong is you need to know where that finish line is, because what we have in most cases is business owners don't understand, as we went back to that exercise in 1, is how long it takes to go through this process. So they go, well, hey, I've been in business for 30 years. Yeah, I was emotionally tied to my company. I probably held on too long, but hey, it was only 1 year. In 30 years, that's 3%. So I held on 3% too long. That can't hurt me, right? Unfortunately, as you probably know, what buyers care most about is not what you did 5 or 10 years ago in your prime. They care about what you did today, the last 12 months.